everyone. Today we are going to learn about another instructional strategy for inclusive education that is known as students assistant teams. Normally, in an inclusive school, it's not unusual for a class teacher or subject teacher to experience the necessity of seeking assistance or help in terms of suitable intervention strategy. For a child with special needs or different abilities to deal with his specific academic behavior or adjustment difficulties in a suitable way. The student assistant teams established in the school can serve this purpose very well. So, let's see what is the definition of student assistant team. A student assistant team is a team comprising a set of specific members responsible for chalking out a suitable intervention strategy, including its proper follow up to an individual child who is experiencing one or the other types of academic and behavioral problems, impeding his education and adjustment in the inclusive setup. In other words, the student assistance team is a school team designed to assist students that may be struggling academically, behaviorally, or emotionally at school, which is inhibiting the student in being successful. The team is a positive problem solving intervention process which includes at least 3 persons. The team usually meet 2 times or more per month, that is, first and third Wednesday of each month. The team work with teachers in determining why students are not progressing as expected and to make recommendations for additional support to ensure the student's future success. Now, we look at purpose of student assistant teams. The student assistance team is a school-based group of people whose purpose is to provide additional support to students who are experiencing difficulties that are preventing them from benefiting from general education because they are either performing below or above expectations. Our next point is mission of student assistant teams. The student assistant team's mission is to approach and arrive at appropriate solutions to problems in the school environment through a cooperative team effort. Although the team may make reference to special education and other special programs, the student assistant teams is not part of the special education process but rather a general education responsibility. And the student assistant team addresses problems found through general screening or those brought up as concerns by parents, teachers, or other staff. The student assistant team designs interventions for those students who show need for individual consideration. Moving further with the objective of the student assistant team. Number 1, to identify students who are struggling with academic difficulties. And number 2, to identify students who are experiencing emotional stress. Number 3, to identify students who are struggling with relationship or family issues. Number 4, to identify students involved with alcohol and drug use. And number 5, to provide appropriate out-of-school referrals or in-school services and interventions for students. And to identify students that may need to be referred for special education multidisciplinary evaluation. And last one is to focus on those students that need extra attention in order to be successful. So, now we look at key players on the student assistant teams. The person like below usually find their presence in a student assistant team constituted by an inclusive school. Like the principal or head of the school, the class teacher, the refereeing teacher who has asked intervention for a child, and parent or guardian of the student for whom intervention is required, school counselor, special education teacher, member of the support team as per need of the situation, like speech therapist, language therapist, literacy or numeracy facilitators, intervention specialist, clinical psychologist, rehabilitation experts, etc. Students are most successful where there is a strong spirit of cooperation between home, school, and community. It is this shared responsibility that the student assistant teams meets to explore possibilities and strategies that will best meet the educational needs of the students and support teachers and parents. Next point is procedure of student assistant teams. Step 1. First of all, a referral is made. It can be by the teacher, the parent, the student, or another school staff member. Then, everyone meets and students are involved if appropriate. It takes approximately minutes. Step 2. After that, teachers should implement some classroom modifications. It can be as simple as seating arrangement, a daily assignment sheet, or an effective visual teaching aid. Sometimes a simple change can make a huge difference. Any modification that has been tried or is currently in place will be discussed at the student assistant team meeting. Step 3. The team can suggest further steps to help the student. A coordinator for the student assistant team leads the group through a problem solving process, which is recorded and results in a written plan of action. Moving further with the functioning of student assistant teams. The regular meetings are held as per schedule fixed by the team with the clear-cut objective of discussing. After that, follow-up work of the intervention planned for a disabled child whose case has been referred to the student assistant team by one of his class teachers. In some cases, the parents may also refer their child for a suitable intervention. The activities like below may be held in student assistant team meeting. For example, the class teacher or parent referring to the case is supposed to explain the type of difficulties for which intervention is required. Number 2, teacher will also explain the type of attempts made from his or her side to help the child in his adjustment and learning problem along with their outcomes. After that, the necessary discussion will be carried out for evolving an appropriate plan or suitable intervention strategy for supporting the teacher and the parents. And the information or data about the history of a student's problem, cumulative record about his educational progress, his strengths and limitations, the nature of the problem arising in his adjustment and education, etc. In the follow-up meeting, the progress report is properly studied, and if goals are not met, the intervention strategy may be modified or further subjected to proper monitoring, or new goals or objectives may be developed for the proper intervention in the case of the affected child. Now the last point is benefits of successful student assistance teams. So, it helps the students to be more efficient and hence productive, which leads to growth of the society. It gives an opportunity to the affected child to help their own self. Student assistant team helps in reducing the school dropouts and also improves grade point averages. Now, we can conclude that student assistant team identifies the needs of the disabled student, and then they prepare a plan of action for them. That is why their needs are fulfilled and they are more likely to do well in studied. So in this way, today we have seen what is student assistant team and its objectives and functions. Thanks for listening.